supposedly live. It's having trouble ingesting the feed. So hi guys, if you are here, I'm not super sure, but hi. I'm just promoting this stream. So I just wrapped up a whole other stream. So just kind of switching rooms, getting everything together, and promoting this one. Now this one, I didn't plan on doing today. I planned on doing it tomorrow because the proof actually came in a day early, which is fantastic. But you know how it is when you've kind of scheduled out your week, you kind of figured out where everything was going to go and when you were going to do what, and then it comes early and it's like, oh, okay. And we need to do the proofs sooner rather than later, because the sooner we approve the proofs, the sooner we can actually get people's copies of Lilliputian Living in from CreateSpace, the sooner we can order those proofs. So I have obviously not opened it. This could actually be a Naoki Urasawa book that I ordered, but that's not supposed to come in until January. So, you know, fingers crossed here. Let me turn some music on for y'all. There we go. And, oh, let me turn off my audio. And let's just go ahead and dive right in. Cross your fingers for me. Oh, ooh, it is. It's the Lilliputian Living. Sorry, I was excited. It's pretty. Okay, so this is volumes. Let me grab one of them. This is volumes 1 through 4 of Lilliputian Living. Lilliputian Living used to be a zine, or started life as a zine like this. And I'm looking for my sketchbook that has all my October inks in it. It is not handy. Would you grab it? I think I have at least one of the Lilliputian Living sketchbooks on that shelf, right? So it's a collection of 4 years of these October prompts. And okay, so this is on the cream paper. Interesting. It's more bookity book than Kara is, because it's black and white, and it's not on like specially coated paper or anything. It's just on like regular cream paper. Oh my. Both of these do. Thank you. Okay, so Lilliputian Living started life as these October inking prompts, and it's a written prompt and illustration, and I usually share them over on my Instagram. And I've been doing this for 4 years now. So we have, let's see, 4 times 30 is about 120 prompts. Oh, I should like, I have like 6 or 7 pages left. I should do some more illustrations. Should finish off that book. But I have 4 of these Inktober sketchbooks, and I don't know where the other 2 are. I think they're with my packed sketchbooks because we moved recently. So, you know, everything is still in boxes and will remain so until we find a home. But you're not here to look at old Lilliputian Living. You're here to look at the Lilliputian Living Compendium. And this is my first time looking at the Lilliputian Living Compendium too. So it is 4 volumes, prompts and illustrations. We are printing it through CreateSpace rather than through Versa because honestly, because of cost, really. So we did the 7-inch Kara Volume 2 Kickstarter to fund the printing of Volume 2 to raise the funds for that. We did not hold a Kickstarter or anything like that for Lilliputian Living. So CreateSpace allows us to print on demand. What?
They replaced the ISBN.
With their own again?
Yeah. I mean, that's okay because we were using their ISBN, but like...
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
I know, because this one matches the back of the book, and then this is like, white ISBN. I don't know. That's something we need to talk to them about.
Their instructions do say it has to be on a white background.
So okay, that's probably why.
But the other book did have an ISBN on a white background, and they still replaced
Are we going to get in contact? Is something we're going to get in contact with them about? Because I'm going to start making notes. Since we are looking at...
I don't think that's something we need to mention to them because we weren't directly following their instructions.
We can ask, and if they say, well, it wasn't on a white background, then it is, that's what it is. Okay, so this is a perfect bound book, much smaller than Volume 1 and Volume 2. I have a copy of Volume 2 semi-handy, so I'll grab that. So this is Volume 2. This is the Volume 2 proof also from CreateSpace, so it's kind of like a pre-proof of volume 2, so you can see that Lilliputian Living is more like manga size. It's a much smaller book. I have some manga, so sorry, on the shelf. There's some Naoki Urasawa manga. Thank you. This is the best. It is a lot of illustration. That's a lot of drawing. And every year I'm like, in October, I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Okay, so Lilliputian Living is, it is just a little bit bigger than your average manga. A little bit thicker as well. And pre-orders are open for Lilliputian Living on the website in my shop. You want to drop a link for that?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I am going to be sending this out to everyone who backed at the Lilliputian Living tier on the Kickstarter, rather than sending them 3 individual zines. They now get 4 zines in one, basically. So this is on the cream paper. It is such a book. Like, I know this is going to sound really stupid, but it's like, wow, it's a book, because I've only ever seen it as a zine. I might smell it. I'm going to smell it. It does not smell like a bookstore. I was hoping it would smell like a bookstore. Bookstore and art supply store are my 2 favorite smells. Okay, I already see a problem, and that is with the calendar pages, we lose everything in the fold. So we're going to have to fix that. Making a book is so much work. I am a little concerned with how close the text is to the spine of the book. The illustrations look good though. And I'm just taking notes as I go.
How do you feel about the cream?
Kind of like it.
Yeah, I do too.
Looks good. I haven't gotten to any of the
About the bleeds.
grayscales.
I think that's a bleed. Yeah, that looks good.
Oh, it looks good. I don't expect us to fix this. Seeing it bleed on the side kind of makes me wish it could bleed at the top.
I mean, we could move the whole thing up.
Something to think about, but I don't think so.
I don't think so either. That's why I didn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is your first time seeing the book too. So I think we need to fix this.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. I'd already made a note about that. But that's a global change, right? You can change it in the master and it'll fix it?
No.
Oh,
It still
sorry.
won't take much time though.
Yeah. Other than that, that's like, this one needs to be cleaned up. That's an old one. Because you can... There's some schmutz up there that needs to be removed. Ah, gotta be careful not to get this all over the book now. So this represents 4 years of October work, plus work, the extra work this year. Aw, Nerd Princess. I'm sorry, YouTube doesn't notify. Other people have told me this, like that they're not getting notified for the live streams anymore, and I have contacted YouTube every single time someone mentions that to me. It would be a big favor if you could also send YouTube some feedback and let them know that you're not getting notifications from this channel. I checked last week, this channel is not set as for children, so I kind of figure the more people point that out to YouTube, the more likely it might get fixed. Do I think I was able to cover everything in book in terms of world building? When it comes to tiny people and Lilliputians, I feel like there's always more I want to draw. Like, I will probably do a Lilliputian Living next year as well, and we'll just start on book 2. But I feel like I'm pretty satisfied with what is in volume, like this compendium. I feel like it's a really good, this one needs to get cleaned up too. I feel like it's a good, like, self-contained thing, but also like a good starting off point. Give me a second. Cannot talk and write. So something I want to explore later is I would like to develop a Tiny People or a Lilliputian tabletop game. I know there's some out there, but I want to do one based on this world building. And there's also something called AI Dungeon where you feed it information and it generates like a text adventure for you to play. And Joseph and I have been seriously talking about creating a Lilliputian themed one of that. So I might not be doing like a print book next time of Lilliputian Living. I might do like a tabletop game or a text adventure game that might have like sporadic illustrations. That sounds like a really fun next step. Joseph, this book is so bookish. Like, more.
And I did well.
Yeah, no, it looks great. I'm
like
excited about it. I don't know what
enough.
these spot. Okay, so is there some way we can make the black a richer black, or is it the paper?
I'm not sure. I may have exported it using a different format than what I was supposed to, but I don't think so. I think I did it properly, so probably not. I can always go in the file and make sure that the K is at 100% for everything. But I believe I checked it, and the K was at 100%.
I was with you when you checked it, but we can double check it.
Why is Ocarina capitalized? Oh,
because all of the
too.
Yeah, originally these were broken down into like a bulleted list, but that takes up too much space on the page.
Sure.
I think they look pretty good though. I'm looking forward to seeing. So I'm looking for like cleanup errors because I found a couple pages. And volume 1 has the clean. Ooh, the grayscale looks good on the cream paper. Ooh, excited about that. Yeah, see, the calendar just gets completely.
Yeah, I knew that it was going to be in the fold. I thought it would be slightly readable though. Go back one page. I feel like this might be too close to the bottom. I'm probably going to move that up.
Okay, sure. It doesn't bother me though. Now.
A little too dark.
No, well, yes, but also you can see the matrix, the printing matrix. Like, I'm going to hand this off for a second so you can see what I'm talking about. I mean, it's a CreateSpace thing. It's not an us thing. It's a printing thing. Where you can see, it doesn't do like with these books, right? You get full coverage of the color. Whereas on that, it's like a dot matrix kind of print. It's a very fine dot matrix, but it's not
I don't
as
know why it looks like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Tally, that's really cool to hear. I'm glad this has been inspirational for you. Doing it like this is a lot easier than doing it as a comic. But I don't think this wouldn't exist without Kara. So for me, it's like to me, it's a nice addition to have. It's so cool. It really is. There's going to be people at shows who are like super excited about this, and some of them are going to see the tabletop potential in it and be like, I can use this as a handbook for their tabletop games. Yeah, I'm a little bummed out by the print quality. I wonder if there's something we can do on CreateSpaces to improve that.
They might just use WordPresses for black and white.
They might. That's why they're so cheap.
Because I expect you to just print text.
I really only care because I can look at Kara and see that it's like really nice. But other than that, the grayscale looks really good on the cream paper, I think. And how much are we paying per book with these?
I think it's like $4.26 a book, so probably like at the very least 5, probably closer to 6 or 7 after shipping.
So if we were to offset print these, and to be fair, order like 1,000 copies of them, we could probably get that down to like $2 a book. I have not done any 3D modeling. That is a skill set I do not have. Something I am disappointed in that it's a Becca error is there's like schmutz, like scanner schmutz on a lot of these pages that I'm debating whether or not I'm going to clean it up or leave it. This might be kind of dark. You know, I get that, Nerd Princess. Like, doing tiny people stuff, like, the more I talk about it and kind of, like, remember my childhood, the more I think this is an old idea of mine that I just never spent time in, because I spent a lot of time like playing with dolls but pretending that the dolls were that was like their actual size, that they existed in the world at that height as a kid. So I kind of wonder also, like, if I were to pitch other ideas that weren't Lilliputian, would I even be able to do it? Like, I can come up with like a million ideas for what life is like when you're super short, tiny, 7 inches tall, but like, are there stories that I really want to tell that are full size? I would like to do, like, I would love to do graphic novels about like pioneer living or gold rush living or like Louisiana's early days as a state. And I'd like to do like a, oh, okay, hang on a second, like a nonfiction graphic novel about life with ADHD. But I feel like that's kind of the same as what I'm already doing. You know what I mean? Okay, a lot gets lost in the fold on these 2 pages, and I'm only covering it to hold it open. So something with these smaller books that I'm noticing is that more gets lost in the fold because you don't have all the extra page to help like hold it down. Oh, his face is still dirty. I cleaned his face twice, sir.
It's like your child.
I know. Another thing with the grayscale, I could see like the black. I can see it like on the edges of the lines, but I can't see it in the black itself. So the black itself is like a rich dark black. Why? Why are these such a troublesome? So one of the differences, 155, clean up. One of the differences between the proofs from Versa and the proofs from CreateSpace is that with CreateSpace, we can submit changes and they're not charging us per change, they're charging us per proof printed. Whereas Versa was charging us per change.
I'm not positive about that, because it seems like they may have not been producing plates. I can't tell.
You don't know? Have they sent us a bill?
No.
We need to get in contact with Versa because they have been MIA for like a week now,
No,
and
they
we're
contacted me a few days ago
and said,
that everything was in order.
"Oh, okay," and they didn't send us a bill or anything.
No, I've already paid half of it.
Makes sense. Should dig up my first big idea. They didn't get much world building. Yeah. I think you should. And another thing too is a lot of comic artists, when they start talking about where their ideas really came from, a lot of them will admit it was an idea they had when they were first like a teenager, and that it's just matured with them over time. So like the original idea, there's still a nugget of that in there. Ah, another dirt. I cleaned all of these scans. This is going to be the third time I've cleaned these scans. And you got to be careful because I don't want to blow out the scans so that they're unreadable or that they're ugly. And what's also weird is like some are clean and some are not. That's what proofs are for though. It gives me a chance to go through and like, this is the quadruple pass at this point because I checked Lilliputian Living 3 times. But you know, that's okay because even if, oh man, I don't know. I see some scanner schmutz on her, but I'm really concerned that it's going to blow out her face. I'll try to fix it up. I think, honestly, it has more problems with stuff that have like delicate line art. The stuff with the heavy spot blacks was way easier to clean up than this stuff is. But again, I think almost all of the errors, if not all of the things I'm seeing, are on us or on me.
I don't know. I feel like the pages, even though they told me not to in the instructions, that we should have put bleed inside of the margins because look, this page is supposed to be centered, but instead it's like really kipped to the right.
Yeah, they didn't accommodate for that.
This is probably really kipped to the left.
Yeah.
So if we put bleed inside of the margins, then that would have accommodated for that space that is just eaten up by spine.
Yeah, you lose about a centimeter.
Because there is actually a margin in between, which is supposed to accommodate it, but I don't know. It's strange because it's almost like.
What?
They just didn't really cut it right, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to get another copy before you know what I mean? Before I was like, yeah, they just didn't cut it right. These are clean though, thank goodness. I don't know why Volume 3 was such a tricky one to clean. Because Volume 4 is nice and clean. And when I say clean, I mean like no pencil artifacts in the scans.
Well, you also rescanned Volume 3, right?
And I cleaned it up twice. And I'm going to have to clean it up again because I'm still finding images that have pencil marks on the face. Like they're faint, but they're still there. Whereas these are just not giving me nearly those problems. I get to Tali. I have made maquettes before. It is not something I enjoy doing. I think if I were going to make a maquette, I would rather buy a doll, like since most of my characters are Lilliputian, and melt the face, like strip the face paint and then repaint that and basically sew clothes for it. I'm not into clay. I'm not a clay person. I'm not really a wood person in that regard either, but I do like to sew. So I think that would be a better way for me personally to make maquettes. She gets lost in the spine too. A lot of them are getting lost in the spine. You might be right about that.
never put a character's face outside of the margin.
Yeah.
And the margin is supposed to be like the safe area to print, so it shouldn't be like all up in the gutter, basically.
Okay, so I went through it. I'm pretty happy with it. I keep just thinking it looks like a real book. I know how stupid that sounds. There's a fair amount of work I have ahead of me cleaning up faces, and then there's also some conversations Joseph and I need to have about things that are getting eaten up by the spine. Yeah, anyway though, it's really cool to hold it in my hands. It feels like a book, like it's substantial. Let's see what our total page count was. 281 pages of this, and I wrote and drew all of it, but Joseph did all the laying out, so a big thing. I can only be holding this in my hands right now because Joseph decided it was important to try and get this as a perfect volume, because otherwise I would have 3 of these. I wouldn't have even done the 4th one as a zine necessarily, and I would be laying them all out myself and stapling them and printing them. So thank you so much, Joseph. That was such a big help. And frankly, these zines are actually very expensive to make because you're doing it at home and you don't have access to bulk prices, and it's a lot of time and a lot of hand assembly. So frankly, I might be spending about as much on these as we might be spending. Not really. I'm probably spending about $2 to $3 to make each copy of these, and I sell them for $6. Without counting the time I spent drawing it. Yeah, but counting just labor like assembly and printing, I probably spend $2 per book. Whereas these are, you said 6.
After shipping, yeah.
And I want to sell them for 10, so I'll be making $4 for my drawings. But I think 10's fair. And I hope people enjoy these, and I've got a lot of work ahead of me to get this corrected, and I know Joseph's going to want me to do it tonight. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, checking out the proofs for Lilliputian Living, the Compendium of Miniature Life. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to definitely be promoting it a lot, and Volume 2 a lot, when we have the finished books to sell. But if you like what you see and you'd like to support my work, you can either order a PDF copy of Lilliputian Living and you'll get it right away, or you can pre-order a physical copy of Lilliputian Living, and I will send those when we have the finished books. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me for 2 streams now. That's bonkers. And I hope to see you guys Friday. I'm going to do a live stream where I show you how to, give me a second. I'm working on some holiday stuff, so I can't put this off because I'm also doing holiday stuff, so I gotta keep the train trucking. But on Friday, I want to do a live stream on how to paint a poinsettia using watercolor markers. So I'm thinking I might do that one at 6 instead of at 8, since 8 is kind of late and I have a lot more energy not at 8. So keep an eye out for that. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I hope you guys remain safe, happy, and healthy. Bye, guys.